welcome to Down and Dirty. I'm Larry, and today we're going to discuss my JLU Diesel. That power steering suddenly failed on a trail. All I got was a constant flashing service power steering warning coming up on the dash, and basically stopped on the trail, looked at everything, wire connections, checked fuses, couldn't find anything wrong. It is electric pump, electric over hydraulic pump. So did a lot of searching online, what everybody said to look for there. Still didn't find any problems. Took a meter, multimeter, checked it had 12 volts going to it, but it is a variable speed pump. It's run by the CAN system. So it's not just a direct 12 volts on and off. The pump runs, it doesn't run. It's an on-demand, so it makes it a lot more difficult to troubleshoot. Long story short, ended up finding the issue. We'll put that in the video here. Show you what we found. Basically a nut was left off from the factory for a ground wire, and that's what the situation was. So we got it repaired. In the midst of all this though, just so you know, if you happen to need one, these pumps are $1,400 through the dealership, and at the time of this happening to me, there were none in the country available. It was going to be one of those issues of my Jeep setting for, they said 45 to 60 days possibly. Anyway, ended up finding it in the ground wire, so it ended up being a simple fix. That not being an issue. All right, let's get started. All right, so here's where we're looking at, this ground wire that fell off for the power steering pump that caused me all sorts of headaches. But anyway, it's right behind the headlight. This is diesel. So this is my fuse box, not the same as on a gas. And past your headlight, and right down here, the fender well, right behind the headlight is where these ground wires are. There's actually 3 studs there for grounds. One of them was the culprit. And best as we can tell, it never had a nut on it from the factory, and the wire just finally fell off about 10,000 miles on the Jeep. Okay, you can see that stud down there with, I guess, silver nut on it. The other 2 have red nuts on them. That's the one that did not have a nut on it, and that is the ground wire that fell off that is for the power steering pump. The electric motor of the electric over hydraulic power steering pump. So that is why I lost power steering on the trail. I guess apparently that wire bounced off. Kind of amazing, because this thing been driven to Utah and back. Did Moab, Sand Hollow. Actually almost 10,000 miles on it before this happened. Now, there's no way I was down in here. This is behind the passenger headlight, beside the passenger headlight on the fender well. And there's no way I was in there messing with any of these wires. Everything I did is right next to the battery where you typically hook and connect things up. So apparently it came that way from the factory, because the nut was definitely gone and the wire definitely fell off. Okay, so that was a real simple fix. I just thought I'd let everybody see what a possibility could be. I found online where they said to check ground wires. That one was actually tough to see. With this thing lifted up on 37-inch tires, actually I'd climb up on the tire with a flashlight, look down in behind the headlight, the grill there, to find that ground wire. It wasn't up where any of them that I'd actually already worked with, where auxiliary wires are, and you have a lot of ground wires on studs up on the fender well. This one's all the way up front, and there's actually 3 of them up in there. This one definitely never had a nut on it because there was still paint on the threads. Once I put a new nut on it, the paint came off the threads. So I think it's pretty obvious that thing never had a nut from the factory. It's amazing the wire hung on as long as it did. You know, over 9,000 miles on this thing. I've driven to Moab and back. It's been all over the place, multiple trails. So anyway, we got the ground wire back on and the pump runs fine. All right, well, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. Take care. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.